Okay, welcome. This is Dr. Lynn Johnson. We are demonstrating today how to use the flourishing scale. Ed Diener and his son Robert Diener created this, validated it. It's got good norms on it. People aren't using it in their clinical work. I think they should. Ed Diener very clearly gives permission on his website. So we're going to role play a counseling session. Now this is Judy, and she's volunteered to act as a kind of a demonstration person today. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You're very, very welcome to be here, and we hope this will actually be somewhat good for you. Right now, you've gone through a lot of difficulty that we won't go into. It's not really relevant, but enough said. You've had, how long's this been going on? Well,
a year.
A year. And then before that, your life was also pretty rough.
Yes.
So, but for the last year, you've had a very tough time of it.
Yes.
But you've been getting a lot better.
I've been getting a lot better.
Okay. Now, right now on her flourishing scale, she's at, we'll put your name at the top of this, Judy. Right now at the flourishing scale, she's at 51. She estimates maybe 6 months or a year ago, she'd have been at 42. Now, what does that mean? Well, 45 is the mean, the average score. So at 45, you're reasonably happy, and you're about as happy as most people. She was less than that, but you know, she's a pretty resilient gal, and so she was never really terribly low. The principles we use here will fit with anybody, whether they're high or low. Okay, so, and then today she's at 51, which puts her a bit above the 75th percentile. In other words, if we rank 100 people in terms of how well they're doing in life, she's about number 75. She's got 25 people ahead of her. Well, probably more, almost 80, but you know, you'd have about 20 people ahead of you and 79 or 80 behind you. All right. Now, Judy, we have 8 items here. And what we're going to talk about today is how your life could move in a more positive direction.
Okay.
What would make your life be more meaningful or more flourishing or more happy or more resilient. And as you look at these, I'm gonna put a little line by the ones that you might want to work on, because those are some of the lower numbers. I've marked 5 different items on there that are lower than the others. Look through those and decide which one do you think might be for you the one that would have the most leverage, the most impact on your life.
I actively contribute to the happiness and well-being of others.
Excellent. Okay. All right. Now, on the flourishing scale, there are 2 items on what we call connection, and that would be number 2 and number 4. Okay. Now, she picked number 4. I actively contribute to happiness and well-being of others. There are 2 parts to this flourishing stuff. A new study on this just came out.
Okay.
Giving love, receiving love. So Judy has picked giving love. Where can she send her love that would improve her life? Okay, so I contribute to happiness and well-being of others. Now, you marked it today at a 6, and you think 6 months ago you would have been at a 6. But it's one that you still think, hey, I could have some leverage here. All right. Let's say some miracle happens in the next week or 2, and you wake up in a week or 2 and you say, you know, I'm definitely at a 7 on that item. And now, what did I do? I just go up 1 step. She's actually at a 6, which is also a wonderful rating, but you say, now if she were at a 2 and she picked that, you say, you wake up one morning and you're definitely at a 3. So we're going a very small step. Well, when you think back on the past 2 weeks, what would tell you that you'd actually moved into a 7 range?
Probably my attitude.
Explain.
Well, I've been working really hard on my attitude so that I could be happier, so that I am that example to everybody around me.
Yes.
So I've been working really hard on getting
Now,
happy because of the trials.
Well, and that's a wonderful point you just made. Anybody can be unhappy when they go through trials. It takes a person with real character to maintain a good attitude when they go through trials. I like that a lot. Now, what we're going to do next is focus in on what we call a video description. So, now, if I were to interview people around you, of all the people you know, who do you think would be the most perceptive that would say, oh, I know she's at a 7 now? And just give me a first name, and you don't have to give any. But pick one or two people that you think would really pick up on your attitude and they'd say, definitely at a 7.
Probably both of my sisters, because they're who I talk to the most.
Your sisters. All right, so a couple of weeks from now, you're definitely at a 7. What would your sisters say is different about Judy in the last 2 weeks? What would they say they had noticed?
My whole attitude and countenance about my body. And
Yes, yes. Now, if we had a video of you having a good countenance, what do we see on it?
happy.
Exactly, exactly. Meaning?
That I'm radiating happiness.
Yeah, give me an example. You see in your mind a short video of you radiating happiness. I'm this poor blind person. Tell me what you see on the video.
Laughing more.
Excellent.
The way I come across with my words.
Yes, yes.
I don't know, just the whole thing. I mean, people can tell when somebody's changed just by the way they're acting on the outside.
Good. So laughter would be a piece of it.
Uh-huh.
And then another piece is something about your words. That's very interesting. Explain that.
Well, I've been really insecure with my words, so I'm trying to really work on my words now so that they're more positive and
Yeah.
and not so much putting myself down all the time.
Yes.
With the way my words come across, because the actions of other people around me isn't who I am, just because they've said things about me.
Exactly, exactly. So what's the opposite of putting yourself down? You're talking to your sisters. What's the opposite?
Building myself up.
Such as?
I guess the way that I explain myself, just with positive words and,
Yeah.
you know, I am okay. I've done it. I've made it through a lot of things, but I'm okay.
Yes. Good, good, good. Okay. It's interesting you said I've made it through a lot of things. The thought occurred to me is, what if you looked at that as, I've learned a lot from this?
Yes.
Okay, imagine you say to your sisters, boy, I have really come through this. Now, imagine yourself saying that.
They'd be excited. They'd be like, yay.
And would they say, that was the moment when we knew she was at a 7?
Yes.
How about, I've really learned a lot from this?
Yeah. I say that a lot, though, lately.
Yeah. Okay, I've learned a lot, and how does your future look to you now that you've learned so much in the past year?
It's looking better.
What makes your future look better?
Because I'm realizing I'm okay.
Yes.
That the hard times are forming who I am.
Yes.
So, and it's, I don't know, I just feel like I kind of like myself, finally.
So that shows up quite a bit in your talk to your sisters.
Uh-huh.
What would need to happen so it showed up just a little bit more?
Well, I'm working on it every day, so it's like I can see the work making a difference.
Yes.
And I'm just working on changing my attitude and knowing that the actions of everybody else around me, I don't have to follow or believe what they're saying. It's what's deep inside of me, what I believe about myself.
When your sisters hear you say that, what do they seem to think? How do they react?
They're excited now.
They're excited now, yeah. Okay. So if your sisters were a little more excited, that would tell you you're at a...
I'm getting close to a 7.
You're getting close to a 7. Excellent, excellent. So 2 things that I'm hearing. One is kind of the way you talk, and the other is how they react to that, you know. What do they do? Do they pick up on that and say, wow, stuff like that?
They do.
Okay.
And they're starting to say it more and more too. They were getting really worried about me there for a while. So.
Yes, yes. Okay, so picture your sisters being just enough excited that you'd say, oh, I must be at a 7. How different is that from what they're already saying?
Because they're giving me positive feedback too.
Yes.
They're letting me know that I'm accomplishing what I wanted to, where I wanted to get to. Because they're building me up as I'm working to build myself up too, because they're feeling it from me.
Yeah.
So they're giving me positive feedback because I'm giving positive feedback too.
I don't know. It sounds like maybe you're really at a 7 already. Or at least at your best, you're at a 7, and maybe there are days when you're only at a 5.
Yeah.
Would that be fair?
Yes.
Okay. So, when you really show up with optimism and I've learned a lot, I've grown so much, oh, this would be a shocker. Can you grab a hold of your chair? This is shocking. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. What if you said, in some ways, I'm glad I've gone through this past year. In some ways.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just slowly, just barely in the last probably week or 2 have said that to myself a couple of times.
A couple of times. Now, picture again, you're with your sisters. You say, in some ways, I'm almost glad that I've gone through these trials. Have you contributed to their happiness?
I think so.
Have you made their lives better?
I have.
Yes.
Because they've been so worried, you know, they want me to be happy.
Yeah, what's the opposite of worry?
Opposite of worry?
Yeah. I think you see it in them already.
Yeah.
What is it?
To not worry, to have strength and be happy and...
Happy, joy.
Joy.
Enthusiasm. That's what I'm hearing you say about your sisters.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, an easy homework assignment would be for you to look at those sisters, see, and say to them, I'm getting stronger every day. How do they react? I've learned so much. How do they react? I'm a better person than I was a year ago. How do you know? In some ways, I'm almost glad I've gone through this. How do they react? Would you then give yourself a 7 on contributing to happiness of others?
Yeah, because then I'd be happy, and so they're going to feed off of my happiness too.
Yeah, they actually will. It's interesting. There was a big study in a town called Framingham, Massachusetts, and they found that one happy person, you know, significantly happier, up at about the 75th percentile. One happy person resonated, imagine a still pond and you throw a big stone into the middle and the ripples move to every part of the pond. One person resonated to 3 separations away. In other words, your happiness makes your friends happier. Their happiness actually makes people you don't even know happier. Isn't that wild?
Yeah, it just ripples like you said.
It ripples, it absolutely ripples. And the Framingham study showed very clearly that there was that kind of ripple effect to people you, well, frankly, you don't know. And you may never meet, but your happiness has helped them. Isn't that exciting?
It is exciting.
All right. So your assignment would be, if you'll accept a little homework assignment, look for the times when your sisters are really enthusiastic about what you're saying. You know how that looks. At that moment, you know you're right on with the contribute to happiness of others.
Okay.
There might be other people around you that the same thing, Judy, you'd say, oh, so-and-so was so happy when I said such and such. Watch for times when you're around people when they react with happiness.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
And just, in fact, if you were going to come back and report, what I'd ask you to do is keep a diary.
Okay.
And every day, at the end of the day, jot down, oh, I don't know, one person you think, hey, they really picked up on my
happiness.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay. That would be that'd be a wonderful little homework assignment, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be a really good one.
Imagine 2 weeks from now you have a little notebook and you have 14 different entries.
Uh-huh.
How would you feel?
It'd make me feel good.
Yes. And the entries are all about what?
Happiness.
When you shared your happiness with other people.
Okay.
Deal?
Deal.
Oh, you're just the easiest person to counsel with.
Oh.
You're so cooperative and so willing to try something that will help you, which, is really a beautiful thing. Okay, well, if this were live, then we'd have a computer where people would be asking questions. We don't have any feedback right now from them, but what would they ask? What would they ask? Oh, there's some techniques in doing this. One is to stick with that one step kind of business. So if Judy were at a 3 and all we hoped for is to go, 3 is slightly disagree. I actively contribute. Slightly disagree. I think I'm dragging people down. Okay, if you move to a 4 where you were neutral.
Mm-hmm.
So we can use any number and all we want is one step up. That's an important technical piece.
Yes.
The thing I'm looking for is to move from generalities like attitude to what would it look like, how would it sound, how would it look, and we call that a video description. This is if you had a video camera following Judy around. And it turns out that one of the things we look at for this is how her sisters would react and probably how a neighbor would react, how, I don't know, a friend of yours would react. Mm-hmm. How a client would react to you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So there's a variety of people. And so I came up with this idea of maybe a diary. Comment about that. The thing about a diary is you get 2 for the price of 1. Mm-hmm. Judy cheers someone up because they're saying, oh, Judy, how have you been? You're not dead. Yeah, I dodged that bullet, and you went through all these other trials, and we won't go into all that. Why you could have died.
Yes.
Yeah, it could have been really close.
Yes.
And and some other things that went on in your life that we don't need to go into for this audience.
Okay.
They're all curious, and we're not going to tell them. Say none of your business. Just say that.
Yeah, none of your business right now.
That's right. Okay. But you came through that.
I did.
And so to go, say, from a 3 to a 4 is, well, I'm neutral around other people, and how do you know when they notice that you're neutral, and you get some definitions. You could do the same thing. You could keep a diary. Okay. The other thing is you want to have people visualize in their mind how they'd be, see? Mm-hmm. So I'd say sharing your, and she said happiness. Yes. See, so as she says that, it's also going to be, that she's imagining it in her mind. What else? What else would we focus on in our little demonstration? Do you have any questions? Any comments? Anything?
No.
If you were to rate a session like this between you and a counselor, would you rate it high, medium, or low in terms of how much help you got?
I'd say between the medium and the high, because it's helped me to see where I was at.
Yeah.
A while ago, and I was way lower than that even a year ago. So
yeah.
So I'm going uphill.
You're actually probably contributing to unhappiness. Oh, we're so worried about Judy.
Because that's all I did was cry and
yeah,
depressed. So
yeah, now your sisters are looking happier. Your friends are looking happier when they're around you.
Yeah.
Good. What would have to happen so that this was a little bit more helpful to you?
I'm just still trying to find that peace inside of me so I don't blame myself for things.
Okay.
That's what I'm working on right now.
And we would then say, then let's do that next time. because we're shooting for one solid homework assignment
Right now,
right now.
yeah.
That's all we're shooting for, is one homework assignment she could try out, well, say for the next 2 weeks or something. And then we'd say, okay, then the inner peace, and we could do the same thing, rate yourself on, say, a 0 to 7 or 1 to 7 scale. 1 is, oh, I'm totally not peaceful, and 7 is, oh, I'm just like this totally peaceful person, and where would you rate yourself today? And then we'd go into, and what would need to happen to raise that rating from 4 to a 5 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. No more other comments or questions?
Nope.
Okay, I've run out of great insights to share with our audience. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you for helping.
You're welcome.
Okay. Bye-bye.